biggest challenge was to read 2 genres that I've never read before. This is my second book, and the book that I was given was Where the Lost Wander by Amy Harmon. A friend gave me this and she said, Alison, you're going to love it. The genre, I would say, is historical fiction, and it's based on the Oregon Trail in 1853. So the story is about this young girl called Naomi May, and she's traveling with her family in the wagon from Missouri, and they're going to California, and they're with a lot of other families that are leaving to have a better life in California, where they can have better way of living, but also bigger land. And some of them were going to split. Some of them were going to go to California, and the other half was going to go to the Oregon. The other main character was John Lowry, and he was half white and half Native American. He couldn't fit in both worlds. He wasn't accepted in the white world, and he wasn't accepted in the Native American. He was very talented with learning other Indian languages, and so he was able to adapt and help on this Oregon Trail with this group to help them navigate through all the trials that they had to go through. Reading this book really makes you think about the hardship that these people went through, and we take it for granted when we get in our cars or we get in a plane to get to somewhere, and it's quick, but they had to travel 2,000 miles by foot, pushing a wagon, going through cold water. I mean, I'm a wuss when I go into the sea and I'm like, whoa, it's too cold. But they had to go through streams and rivers that were much colder. And I just take my hats off to them for doing that. And the storyline also has romance. Now, I'm not a big romance person, and so this was different for me to read. And so Naomi and John weave in and out this story, going backwards and forwards, what they see, how they feel, and they just, it's a love story going through this trail. There is some hardships and there is some sadness, but there's also hope at the end. One thing that I did notice was Amy Harmon, the very first, what would she call it, the prologue, she really captures you. She had the hook, and I was like, oh, in the first couple of pages, and I was like, okay, I want to know more, what's going to happen. And it goes back in time a tiny bit, and then it gets back to what happened in the prologue. I don't want to ruin it too much because it's a really good book, and I think people would really enjoy it. I enjoyed it, and I probably would read something like this again. I would give it 5 out of 5 stars. And I want to thank my friend Marja for recommending this book, because she said, you'll love it, Alison, you will. And I did. I read this book really quick, where my other genre, I didn't read very quick because I wasn't interested in it and it was boring to me. But this book kept me alive.